now that we've discussed combined leverage, let's look at a mathematical representation that we refer to as the degree of combined leverage. And it uses the entire income statement, and most specifically, it measures the percentage change in earnings per share divided by the percentage change in sales volume. So the impact on the bottom line from changes in the top line of the income statement. Let's consider this particular income statement. We've got sales units of $2 per unit, sales of $2 per unit. There are two different alternatives here. One, we have unit volume of 80,000 units, the other of 100,000 units. And we're interested in the change in the bottom line relative to the change in the top line. And since every unit is $2 per share, the change in units is, percentage change in units is going to be the same as the percentage change in revenue. So in this case, our sales are going up by 25%, and our income is going up by 100%. So let's look at the degree of combined leverage in that scenario. The percentage change in earnings per share, as we mentioned, has gone up by 100%. The percentage change in sales has gone up by 25%. That gives us a degree of combined leverage of 4. Now, with that in mind, it's worth noting that if we calculated on that same income statement the degree of operating leverage, we would have found it to be 2.6667. The degree of financial leverage on the income statement we just looked at was 1.5. If we multiply those two together, we get a degree of financial leverage of 4. So if we multiply, we get a degree of financial leverage of 4. So that's our relationship. Degree of combined leverage is equal to the degree of operating leverage times the degree of financial leverage. We could also use an algebraic relationship, which will give us exactly the same answer that we had before, but in this case, degree of combined leverage is equal to Q is the quantity of units sold times the contribution margin, price per unit, minus the variable cost per unit. And then in the denominator, we have the quantity times the contribution margin minus the various fixed costs that give rise to the leverage, the fixed costs that give rise to operating leverage, and then the fixed financing cost or interest expense that gives rise to the financial leverage. Going back to our income statement, we can find each of these numbers. We find we're going to calculate, in this case, the combined leverage for 80,000 units. So we're looking at the first scenario, 80,000 units. Okay, the fixed costs are 60,000. The interest costs are 12,000. The variable cost is 80 cents per unit, and the sales are $2 per unit. So our degree of combined leverage, we put in 80,000 in quantity, $2 in unit price, 80 cents in variable costs, 60,000 of financial costs, or fixed costs rather, $12,000 of interest. We plug all that in. We come to exactly the same number at the end, our degree of combined leverage of 4, which is the percentage change in earnings per share divided by the percentage change in revenue. And that takes us to the very end of our chapter.